You have lots and lots of stuff going on in your world, and you're trying to get it all done as much as possible, and you're wondering how to be a multitasker. Hi, my name is Tiffanie Kellog, creator of 13 Months a Year, where by using some tricks and techniques, you're able to save some time, enough so that you can get an extra 13 hours into your week, which results in 28 extra days in the year. And I'm super excited to be here today to talk all about multitasking. So I have about a dozen questions to answer on multitasking, including, do women do it better? So if you check in the description below, if you want to skip ahead, if there's one question in particular that excites you more than the others, we'll get to them all. Well, at least all the ones that we got. The first question is, what is the meaning of multitasking? So I grabbed a dictionary. Okay, I Googled it and pulled up a dictionary's website, and it shared multitask of a person is to deal with more than one task at a time. Number two, of a computer, execute more than one program or task simultaneously. And I really love that it talks about the computer, because let's talk about this multitasking and answer the question, can your brain actually multitask? And the answer is nope. Yep, that's it. We're a whole video today about how to multitask, and you can't. However, I am going to talk about how can you get more done? How can you have that focus so you can feel like you're getting stuff done? Computers are able to multitask because they have dual or quad processors. So it's like they have 2 or 4 brains, so things are happening at the same time. A single processor doesn't happen. That's why when it started saying the dual and the quad processor, it just means it's getting the work done. And if you think about it, if you put your computer to do 10 or 20 different tasks, it's not going to get them done as quickly as if you said, here's the 1 or here's the 2, depending on how many processors you have. So the human brain, that actually brings us to one of our next questions. Why multitasking is bad for your brain? Because your brain isn't actually multitasking. All it's doing is task switching back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And here's the thing. When we think about this, multitasking, is it good for you? Is it good for the brain? And the answer is no, because you're not multitasking, you're task switching. And the more you task switch, the harder it is on your brain, the more energy it's taking. It's like, I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And before we can even get settled here, we're back over there. I mean, think about it. Have you ever tried to play on your phone and watch TV? And you can do it, but you're not really catching everything that's happening on TV or everything that's happening on your phone. You're a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. It's back and forth. And I feel like a ping pong going back and forth here. But that's what your brain's doing when you're multitasking in between. And I'm getting tired just watching my hand go back and forth. But that's what your brain's doing every time. It's switching those tasks. So as we look at these multitude of questions that we have about multitasking, all right, so let's take each one at a time. How to improve your multitasking ability? You don't. You're actually better off just to focus on whichever task that you're working at that point in time. And I'm gonna give you a really cool technique to help make that happen at the end of the video. How to become a better multitasker. Put a computer in your head instead of a brain, but you'll still need 2 or 4 processors. One won't be enough. And since we're not there with science, the answer is no. How to handle multitasking at work. Just because you're at work doesn't mean you can do it. You don't. And on that note, stop telling your computer to do 17 things at once. Let them do the 1 or the 2 or the 4 that it's designed for, and then go on to the next. I mean, really, if you have all these different tabs open in your computer, like even on the internet, no, it's going slow. Let it focus on what you're focused on. How do you get better at multitasking? Yeah, you don't. We already talked about that. How do you spell multitask? Ooh, this one I do have a good answer for. So it's multitask, multitask. Now, sometimes people are like, is a hyphen good? You don't need a hyphen. It's not necessary. However, multitask with a hyphen is not spelled incorrectly. So you can go either way. The last question here is, do women multitask better than men? And the answer is, okay, we don't multitask. However, I do think women do most things better than men, but multitasking is not one of them, because there is no such thing as multitasking for people. Ha ha ha. Women do feel very proud that they are the better multitasker. They're task switching, but I would also say that most of those women are exhausted at the end of the day. So stop the task switching. Which leads us to the final and the most important question I think that we want to answer in today's video: how to get things done better and faster. And I think that's where we want to get to, is how do we begin to make things happen? The idea behind multitasking is that I'm able to do lots and lots of stuff, so I'm getting more done. However, I found the opposite to be true. If I'm focused on just one thing, I'm actually going to get it done. So there's two different techniques that I recommend in making this happen. The first is the Ivy Lee method. To get all the history and all that, I have another video on YouTube, so you can click. I'll put that in the description below. The Ivy Lee method, essentially at the end of the day, you want to create a list of the 6 things that you need to do tomorrow that will get you closer to your goal. And then when you start the next day, you're going to want to work on that list and get those things off of the list. So I find that my today selves make better decisions for tomorrow than if tomorrow, because there's the fires and how am I feeling. So it puts me on the right track, on the right tasks to do. And then I like to use the Pomodoro technique. This is essentially, you want to do things in 25-minute spurts. So I set my timer, and nowadays it's easy to tell Alexa or the phone, hey, set the timer. Used to, you'd have to maybe go to the kitchen and get the timer, but you set the timer and you work on one task for the entire 25 minutes. And I actually recommend turning off all those notifications, maybe put the phone on Do Not Disturb, put the Do Not Disturb sign on your door. I have a really cute Do Not Disturb sign. What do you think? I totally love it. How about you? So 25 minutes, you want to be focused on your task. And then as that alarm goes off, once you're done with that 25 minutes, you want to take a break. Whether it's you go refill your beverage, release the bladder. I like to garden or miss my plants, or maybe I'm planking or taking the dog outside. Take a 5-minute break, and then you come back and work another 25-minute chunk. Now, as I was using this, I had a massive project that I was working on over the weekend, and it seems so daunting, but I'm like, okay, I'm taking this 25 minutes at a time. And what was interesting, almost always by the time the 25 minutes came, I was getting frustrated. Something wasn't working. I was having some issues. It wasn't processing in my brain. I'm like, the timer goes off. I'm like, perfect, break time. As I'm up, I would have an idea that would pop in my head, a workaround, or maybe I should try this, or maybe I'm doing this wrong. And when I came back, I was fresh and I was easily able to knock it out, where the previous couple minutes I was frustrated because it wasn't working. There's something about letting your mind do this. Plus, then you get to take a break every 25 minutes. And to me, it's not about how long are we working. If I could, take 10 minutes to get the work done, or I'm multitasking and it takes me 2 hours, which one am I better to do? You are actually going to get way more done when you stop task switching, which you think is multitasking, and really focus on those important things. And if you're looking for more time, more focus, how to get more done, I would love to have you join us for our next 5-day more time challenge. You can check out the link in the description below. While you're down there, give me a comment. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Yes, multitasking is not a thing. Or do you disagree? I believe in multitasking. And tell me why. And be sure to like this video, as well as subscribe to the channel for other tips on how to help you have more time and some more money and more fun. Happy networking, y'all.